I think we're live. All right, awesome. All right, guys, welcome to the team call, the Tuesday night team call. Thank you so much for making it live tonight. It means a lot to us that you are, take the time out of your schedule to make it on live. I'm really excited about tonight's call. We have a guest speaker who's going to share some great content with you for sure. But let me just say a big welcome to any new coaches that are joining for the first time. I know that the new year has brought a lot of new coaches into the organization. So if you're checking out the team call for the first time, we just say, thanks for being here and welcome to Team Phoenix. We do these calls a couple times a month, every other, the first and third Tuesday, and sometimes fifth if there is one, to share some great content. And sometimes I share, and sometimes we have great guest speakers outside the team and some leaders from within the team. But if you are listened to the National Wake Up Call yesterday, you would have already you've heard from our speaker already this week. So you're in for a treat tonight for sure. But real quick before we get started, let me just make one announcement, and that is the Team Cup. If you haven't registered for the Team Cup, now is the time. The registration opened yesterday, and if you're new to the Team Cup, if this is something that's new to you, I posted a little bit about it in the team page just an hour or so ago. So definitely take the time to check that out and reach out to your upline, and maybe they're trying to coordinate some teams. But I'm going to share a real quick story, like tiny short story about the Team Cup for you. And for those of you who've been on the team for a while, you're like, I've heard it before, Megan. Just humor me. The Team Cup was a real turning point for me about 5 months into my business. And I'll share with you why. Many of you know that I did not start coaching for the business, really, the business side of it. The whole building a team, rank advancement, success club, points, numbers, metrics, was not something that I was comfortable with. But I had started to hit Success Club naturally from the desire to actually help people. Imagine that. Which Bonnie's going to share more about that. But I was hitting Success Club, but it was one of those, like, I was afraid each month that I wasn't going to hit it. Like, this is going to be the month I'm not going to do it. That's okay. But like, I gave myself that target of 3 people to help, and I made it happen. So when the Team Cup came around 5 months in, there was this group of people who were looking for a fifth, and I didn't have a coach pushing me on a team or anything. But this team needed a fifth, and they were asking around. I said, no, I don't do contests and stuff. Like, I don't do this for points and stuff. So like, and honestly, I was afraid I'd let them down because I didn't know what I was doing still. I felt like I was going to like fail them. So I just didn't want to. And I know a lot of people have that same concern, is they're just afraid to let people down. So I just said, no. Last day of the month, they still hadn't found anybody. And so they made me feel bad. They guilted me into it, and I said, okay. And I was really nervous, but what it did for me was it gave me an opportunity to really collaborate with other coaches that I wouldn't have otherwise. And because I was in that environment with other people who were pushing themselves, it made me push myself. And I hit Success Club 13, and I was barely hitting 5 at that point. I was 5 months, I'd hit 5 in a row. And because I was pushing myself outside my comfort zone, making invitations that I wouldn't have otherwise, I saw what I was capable of. I saw that I was capable of more and that I was holding back. And that was like a launching off point for me to the confidence that it built. And from then on, I held myself to a different standard to help more people. So that was October of 2013. And I, hit Success Club 10 and beyond ever since. But I think it was a huge confidence builder for me. So if you're nervous about it, I think just give it a shot. Join a team. If you're on this call, if you're on this call, you care about your business. So and get on that team. Like, to find a team. So that topic is actually what Bonnie's going to share with you tonight about Success Club. I don't know about you guys, but I've been setting some goals for myself for the year, what I want, the standard that I want to hold myself to as a coach, helping people with their goals and their fitness goals, but also the goals that I want to help my team towards. And I want to help many more coaches this year find the fulfillment that comes from setting scary goals that push them out of their comfort zone and help them to grow. And I've said this before, goals for me are not about the numbers and the goals. They're about what I have to overcome in order to get there. So I really wanted Bonnie to share with you about this because this is something that she knows very well. Bonnie is a superstar diamond coach. She's been coaching only 3 years. I think she's coming up. Is this her anniversary this month, Bonnie?
Yeah, this week.
Okay, this week. So Bonnie Engle is a superstar diamond coach. She's been coaching for 3 years. She has hit Success Club every single month of her business, and she's the current number two coach of the network. She ended 2016 and 2015 in the top 10, which is extraordinary. Which means she knows how to help people into Success Club. She knows the value of Success Club and what it does for the foundation of your business, and obviously making a significant impact. So what more can I say about Bonnie? Three years of Success Club. I mean, she's she's got a lot of content to share with you tonight for sure. A lot of a huge history of success that we all can learn a lot from. So I'm going to hand it over to Bonnie, and I will say welcome to Florida because she moved to Florida this year.
Thank you.
Well, I moved last year, so I'm not like I'm a local or something. But she moved from California. Were you in California? Where were you? Okay, to Florida. So she's now in my neck of the woods. But we thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you sharing your evening to provide some valuable content for us. So take it away, and thanks again.
Thank you. This is actually a returned favor because Meg spoke on my team call last year, and then I sort of had the toughest couple months of my life in my business. There was just a family tragedy, and I could not return the favor until now, so I'm going to bring it tonight. But I really wanted to start off by saying, I think there's a really common misconception with numbers and achieving, and the fact that that doesn't mean you're still helping people. For me personally, I got into coaching for the business side of things, but the numbers and achieving and hitting Success Club and being on a team cup and all of those stuff equaled a way for me to measure how many people I was helping. Like, it's one thing to sign up and say, I really want to be a part of this supportive group, and I really, really want to, help people every single day, and that's why I got into this. But it's another thing to actually measure how you're doing that. And I think that the company does a really great job of giving us a couple rewards programs that do that for us, right? Like, we're super lucky that we don't have to figure out how to track how many people we're helping, how many people are coming into our business, how many people are actually getting results. We have that built in for us, which I think is pretty cool because I personally know I would never, ever be this successful in any kind of business that I had to do that myself. I'm just not that type of person. I will tell you another secret. Up until now, I didn't even know how elite points or points in the business were calculated. And I'm the number 2 coach in the network that depends on elite points. So you do not have to be good at numbers if you want to be successful. It does not have to be a favorite thing for you to do. It's certainly not for me. You can still focus on helping people and being successful. And I think that there's a really common, as I'm queuing up these slides, I'll just keep saying that, but kind of almost either or, right? So I can either have heart and I can either be really into helping people, or I can be really driven and successful. And that doesn't ever have to be the case. You can have both. You can have heart and you can be a person that hustles. Did this come up bigger on the screen? Can you see those slides?
It is showing the presenter view. It's not showing the slide view.
Let me see. Oh. Well, and I can just send the slides to you so that you can show them to the team if they can't see everything. So then
we can see it. Well, it's just not as large as it would be. So yeah, this will work for sure.
Yeah, and if anybody just has something that they can't see, I can just send them over to you.
Okay, sounds good.
So I apologize. It says 2016 because I've just gotten used to writing 2016 on everything and then the year changed. So excuse that. I mean 2017 when I say 2016. That just goes to show you don't have to be great at writing slides to be successful. um, but tonight I really wanted to talk about, have a reality check with everybody, because I think this misconception is really common. This whole misconception where we get into Beachbody because we want to be surrounded by people who are lifting each other up and we want to help each other, right? And that doesn't have to mean that you can't be a boss lady, that you can't be the writer of your destiny, that you can't be super successful. That doesn't have to mean that. The two can go in conjunction together. So I'm going to talk about a reality check. Are you hiding behind, I just want to help people, as an excuse for not being successful? And I don't say that to be mean. I don't say that to be rude, but I say it to kind of give you a gut check because it's something that I had to have. I would hide behind, well, I don't want to hit high numbers because if I hit high numbers, then that means that I'm not helping people, right? That means I don't like numbers because they make me feel icky. But that's not the case. That's your brain's way of giving yourself an excuse for not achieving, right? Or saying, I don't want to do that because I feel safe here. And then a secret to my success. People ask me seriously every single day from the network how I become successful, what my secret is. They think there must be some like secret thing that I'm hiding and not telling anybody else. I'm going to tell you guys that today, exactly how I structure my mug. And then why you aren't seeing the success you want. I have a ton of coaches that come into this business with huge dreams, right? They see my success or they see someone else super successful in the business and they want so bad to have that in their lives, but something gets lost in translation, right? You start coaching, days start going by, your coach starts to tell you what to concentrate on, and then you get lost in the shuffle of the groups and the templates and the invites, and you kind of get bogged down by all that stuff. I want to talk about what your new game plan is going to be moving forward, what my formula to success is, and then how to translate that into you and your goals. So something that I really always like to start with, I didn't always have this business down, and I think that's hard for some people to understand because they hear my stats and they hear, oh, she's only been in 3 years and she's had this grand success. I struggle a lot, and I struggled a lot, particularly in my first year. So my first year in the business, I was actually working 3 jobs on top of Beachbody coaching. So I was personal training at 2 different gyms and teaching gymnastics during the day. So I would wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning and go train people before they went into work. And then I would go coach gymnastics from about 11 o'clock till 4 o'clock. And then I would drive to a different gym and personal train people after they got home from work. So I wouldn't get home until 11 o'clock at night. And then the whole thing started over again. So when I was in the beginning stages of my business, I virtually had no time at all, except for lunch breaks when I was driving, which is terrible to admit, or in between the cracks of clients and all of that stuff. And I had to get done vital behaviors. My coach was telling me I had to work out every day. I had to drink my shake every day. And I had to invite 3 to 5 people every day. And for me, this business was dire, right? This business was, if this doesn't work, I'll be on this hamster wheel for the rest of my entire life. So if you don't have something that's that deep that connects you to this business so much, we hear all the time your why, finding your why you're doing this. I personally don't like using that phrase just because I think it's lost its luster after all this time and hearing it so many times. You have to find something that will make you literally walk across a plank that has fire underneath it to get to it. That's how much you have to tie this business to what you want out of it. And then you have to be realistic. Are you putting in the amount of time that it takes to be successful, right? So my first year of business, I was floundering. I mean, I knew nothing about network marketing. I didn't even know it was network marketing when I got into it. All I knew is that I liked P90X and I liked Insanity, and I knew that the brand was good and it had a really great name and collateral. And it was a message that I could stand behind, right? I could stand behind getting behind these programs and helping other people. But I, like so many other people, got stuck behind, I just want to help people. I don't want to be salesy, right? We all feel that way. I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to reach out and invite someone. And then I got to this point in my business where I was like, okay, number one, what am I helping people if I'm afraid to reach out to them, right? If you really think about it. And how am I helping people if I'm not constantly offering the opportunity that's already helped me, right? So I could see the potential, both income, physical, financial, emotional, all of that kind of stuff. And then I could see the benefits that it was already giving to my life. Like I had friendships that I never had before. I had goals that I never had before. I was excited to wake up. I had a couple people in my family who joined my challenge group. So my first year, I was at a point where something had to change or else I was going to have to give the business up. Because I don't know if you guys know my story, but my husband and I were in scary amounts of debt, $200,000 of defaulted student debt. So money going out every month on Shakeology and a business fee was not something that we could just keep happening. So we made a hardcore goal. In that next year, and Beachbody does not guarantee any level of income or success. I just have to say a little disclaimer. At the end of that first year, I was pushing for elite because I had big goals and big dreams and all that stuff, and I missed it. I missed elite by a lot, and it was very defeating. And at the beginning of that year, I started the year as a 2-star diamond. I ended that year, and I was about 200 something in the company. I ended that year as number 5 in the network and as a superstar diamond. So in pretty much 10 months, made that leap in my business. So I'm essentially going to take you guys through what my process was, how my mindset changed, and the secret to how I got there. So first, self-evaluation time. Like, let's get really real. We're not here to, make you feel super good, pat you on the back. The definition of a coach is really somebody who, number one, calls you out on your stuff, right? Makes you push harder. Everybody who is on this call right now came to either Megan or whoever else your sponsor is and said, I want to be better every single day. I want to achieve whatever it is, financial, emotional, physical. I want to help some people. I want to make a life for myself with this company. Whatever your goals are, you came to your coach and you said, I want to be better, right? I want to show up every day. I want someone to hold me accountable. I don't think that being a cheerleader is the same as being a coach, right? And you can see in the traditional model, if you watch professional football, of what a coach does versus what a cheerleader does. A cheerleader will cheer for you and wave their pom-poms no matter what you do. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in telling you what you did wrong, telling you where you need to focus next, and moving on with it. So that is kind of my vibe and how I'm going to be talking throughout this call. So know that it comes from a place of love, and it comes from a place of, I want you all to level up. Right? So here's some questions that I started asking myself at that point in my business. Do I really want answers or do I want excuses? I used to ask my coach all the time, well, where do I find this? Or how do I invite someone in this situation? Or what do I say if somebody has this type of objection? Or where do I find what ingredients are in Shakeology? And I finally was typing out a message to her and I said, oh my God, I can find all of these answers on my own, number one. And number two, I'm asking these questions to protect myself from the work I have to do to actually get where I want to go. Let me say that again. I'm asking these questions to protect myself from the work that I actually have to do to get where I want to go. Because in reality, it doesn't matter what you say to an objection. It doesn't matter how you invite someone. What matters is that you're taking the action, doing the action to invite someone. I cannot tell you guys how many terrible messages or terrible answers to objections I sent out my first year and a half as a coach. I still use those messages as segues into good messages now, because without practice, you'll never get good at anything. So ask yourself, do I really want the answers to these questions, or am I protecting myself from work? Because what I would do is I would send a message and I would say, I'll just wait for her to answer. And then after she answers, I'll figure it out, right? So then I protected myself for a couple more hours of actually taking that action. Number two, are you making this business way more complicated than it needs to be? I'm about to drop a bomb. The only thing that I did The entire year, I went from 2-star diamond to 15-star diamond, and number 200 something to number 5 in the company, was hit as many Success Club points as I can. So what that meant for me was I was bringing as many people into my challenge groups, to my business, getting in touch with the products as I could, and then I was teaching those people how to do the same exact thing. I didn't concentrate on numbers. I didn't concentrate on anything else really, except for I need to hit as many Success Club points as I can, which equals to me that I'm helping people get introduced to me, my vibe, the team, the opportunity, a challenge group, whatever it may be, getting them hooked on the products because we know we're good. We're lucky in that way, right? And then helping them see that they can offer the same thing to others. That's really, in a nutshell, all there is to it. And then, are you really making sacrifices? Right? So it's easy for us to say, I want to be super successful, I want to achieve all these things, but then it's really hard for us to self-evaluate and be transparent and say, well, am I taking these couple hours to watch The Bachelor, or am I taking those 2 hours to work on my invites or reach out to some people and make them feel special tonight? Do you give yourself an excuse to not start, I'm going to say a bad word, what is the bullshit story that you're telling yourself? You know, all of us have this kind of elephant in the room, right? We all have this thing that we tell ourselves, well, I'm not as good as her, or I'm not as pretty as her, I'm not as capable as her, I don't have as much knowledge as her, I don't have as much of a following as her, or I don't have as big of a team as her. We all have this bullshit story that we're hiding behind to not do actions, right? And Melanie Mitro said this so well on one of her wake-up calls. She said, we all become collectors of information. We become collectors of that information behind our excuses, right? Well, I could never do that because I don't know everything she knows. The secret is, for all of the leaders in this company, is that they don't have to know everything. They just start doing. Are you taking initiative and doing things without prompts? So in the beginning, I was waiting for my coach to tell me, okay, the Goal Success Club by the 15th, you'll get a jacket or a mug or a sticker or whatever prize it was for hitting Success Club if you hit it. Instead of saying, you know what? I'm looking at all these speakers that are on the guest calls, and I'm listening to all these wake-up calls, and literally the one thing they all have in common is that they all hit Success Club, no matter what, like since they were a coach. And I started to think, okay, success leaves clues. That's the thing I need to concentrate on. Are you doing the work that is equal to the success you want? And this question is super hard to digest. And I think when I first asked myself, I kind of defensively answered, like, oh, of course I'm doing the work that equals the success I want. But here's the other thing. A lot of people look at my story and they think, okay, in 3 years, I want to be 15-star diamond, top 10, and buying a house in Florida and doing all these things. But I have a very different story than a ton of people in the company. I didn't have any children. My husband was in the military and worked literally 12 hours a day. I never saw him. The only thing I really had to worry about was 2 dogs once I quit those 3 jobs. Find someone who's successful in the company who has the same story as you. If you're a mom and you have a couple kids, maybe you work a full-time job, find that coach that matches your story, and then find out how they frame their time, how much work did they put in, how much time did they have, and then evaluate what success means to you in this business. And what I mean by that is, does success for you mean, making $500 extra a week? Does success for you mean, and all of this translates back into helping people, right? Because money stems from helping people, and then you can't help people without money. I always think it's funny that people think money is like the antithesis of helping people, but you can't help anybody if you don't have any resources, and if you don't have any resources, you can't help anybody. So it's kind of like a twofold thing. But find the success that you want and then backtrack your actions and be really, really honest with yourself when you're asking them, because that's super hard to do. So this one, I am a huge Tony Robbins person. I went to his Unleash the Power Within, and it totally changed my life and my outlook on the business. And he is a big fan of this quote. He always says, there is no lack of resources, only a lack of resourcefulness. And this changed my entire mindset of the business, of being successful. He used this analogy at Unleash the Power Within, and I don't know if you guys know it. I did not know it when I heard this, but Africa has the most resources out of anyone in the world, yet they are the poorest continent. Isn't that insane? They have the most resources from anywhere in the world, yet they are the poorest population out of anyone in the world. Seemingly, if they have the most diamonds, the most oil, the most whatever they produce the most of, they should be the richest, right? Because they hold all the keys, they hold all the answers, they hold everything that everybody else in the world wants. And the same thing is true for coaching. You know, all of us will be like, well, if I just knew this, then I could reach out. Or if I just knew how to say this better, then I could reach out. If I just knew the answer to X, Y, and Z, then I could be a better coach or a better leader, or I could be further in my business. But the funny part is that you have to be the one who finds the resources, right? There is no lack of resources. All the answers are out there, all the YouTube videos, all the Google Docs, all the FAQs. You have to be the one who is brave enough to say, I'm going to be resourceful and not concentrate on resources that I don't have. Everybody starts somewhere, and I think that's the thing we tend to forget, right? We look at big time coaches, people we look up to, and we tend to think, well, they've always been successful. They've always had this big following. One thing that I like to remind my coaches of is that we all start from somewhere. I started with maybe 100 friends on Facebook, and that is it. And I have built everything from that point. So I think what we need to look at it as is all of the resources are there. We just have to be the one to reach out and find it. Everyone believes that they can accomplish more if they only had more time, more energy, more money, more physical ability, a better upline, insert missing resource here, right? So I did a little poll for this call that I want to talk about. In the Bombshell Dynasty, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that team. That's my upline, Lindsay Matway. We have a group, a private Facebook group that has all 3-star and above diamonds. So basically it's like a really successful crop of coaches from that one team. And in this page, I asked a couple questions, because I'm a huge fan of success leaves clues. If you want to be successful, look at someone who is and then find out what they're doing and then do that. 100% of the Dynasty Wall coaches found their information, answers to questions, primarily from Google and YouTube. And this made me such a good coach when I realized this. When I would have a question or something, it made me feel so empowered that I went out and researched and found the answer to something. Because then I took that answer and pasted it in my team page, and I looked like a hero, right? Because I went out and found some information for other people. 97% of the Dynasty Wall coaches did not have a large, quote unquote, warm market to start with. A lot of times what I hear is, I just can't be successful. I'm just going to use this as a discount, or I'm just going to do this on the side because I don't know a lot of people, so I can't hit Success Club. I didn't know a lot of people either. My husband and I had just been stationed in California, didn't know a single soul. We're from 2 different parts on the East Coast, but build it step by step you have an incredible upline, and I'm sure she gives you step by step how to build those things. 100% of the Dynasty Wall coaches answered B to this. Did you think the opportunity that your success is dependent on the opportunity your upline gave you in terms of answers, all of placement, volume, etc., or your hard work? Because even if you weren't placed where you are, you would have succeeded. They all said B. And again, you guys, if you can't see these answers, I'm going to send these slides, so don't worry about that. 100% of the Dynasty Wall coaches had to give up TV time, time with kids, nights out with friends, sleep, lunches, reading books, etc. And this is something that I didn't realize until that year that switch just flipped, because I was a newlywed. I wanted time with my husband, but it's kind of that thing where you sacrifice now for a life later that most people can't have, right? So let's get down to the good stuff. I created this last year for my team because I think that there's so many different layers to this business, and there's so many different people you can compare yourself to and whatnot, that everything kind of gets lost in translation, and we forget the simplicity of success. It is so simple to be successful in this business. It blows my mind. It blows my mind how successful it is, that sometimes I have to go, wait, how in the heck am I this successful from just doing this one thing? So this is kind of my wheel of success. If you need to be reminded of this, print it out, slap it on your wall in your office, whatever. This is what I do every single month. I hit Success Club. By hitting Success Club, recruit coaches, help them to hit Success Club, and then do it again. And that's literally, bottom line, what I do. And all of this stems from inviting people every single day. I love this wheel because it reminds me that I don't have to know it all. I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to have the perfect message or the perfect profile or be on top of everything all the time. All I have to do is hit Success Club, is talk to people about our programs in Shakeology, and then teach them how to do it and do it again and again and again. Now, if you want your business to move faster, you'll make those numbers higher. If you want your business to steadily grow month over month, you'll hit the minimum, right? The thing that people don't realize is that Beachbody has spent literally hundreds of thousands of dollars on algorithms and scientific methods to give us a program that literally equals success. Like, Success Club isn't just an excuse for them to send us fun hats and shirts and stuff. It's literally, they've done the math, right? They know what works. They know how you move forward. That's what it is. It's giving you a clue to the activities that you need to do every single month to move forward. Okay, here's my formula for success. So at the beginning of every single month, I make 3 lists. I make a list of people who are in my current challenge groups, a list of people who have been like kind of interested in my social media, and then a list of people who have said no, right? So new prospects, that's what you might call them. People who've said no last month, the month before. The majority of the people that sign up for my challenge groups or coaching are people who have said no to me several times. Number 2, I always hit Success Club before the 15th. I make a serious personal goal. The bigger the goal, the faster you will grow. I never get defeated by, what if I say this goal and then I don't hit it? Or, last year I openly said on my social media, I want to be top coach. And guess what? That didn't happen. And that's okay. As long as you make your goals big, it's kind of like that thing, like if you shoot for the moon, you'll land among the stars. So I work from those 3 lists every single month. And I hit Success Club from those 3 lists. They're not fancy. It's not on Excel or anything. It's just written in literally the same notebook I've had since I started coaching. And then number 3, I post at least once or twice a day for what I want to attract. So if you're listening to this call and you're like, I really want to build a team, I just don't know how, then you need to post publicly about being on a team, about the fact that you're growing a team, about the fun things that the team is doing. If you want to attract challengers for your next challenge group, then you need to be posting about what's going on in the challenge group, how it's making you feel, how it's helping other people. Post for what you want to attract. Number 4, hit Success Club by the 15th. I cannot stress it enough. How much more momentum would your business have if instead of doing the last minute tumble to Success Club on the 30th, you pushed that hard midway through the month, and then the rest of the month was like a bonus? I just cannot understand why people don't have that mentality. 5, teach your team, even if you don't have one yet. This is something really good to be thinking of. I noticed that there were a ton of new coaches, Meg said at the beginning of the call, so this might sound like gibberish, but I promise that it will all be clear soon enough. Teach your team that Success Club is the key to the business. Help them hit it simply by example. If you want your people to be successful, you need to show the way first. One of the things that I know for a fact when a new coach hits Success Club is that, number 1, they're even for their challenge pack purchase. Number 2, they're achieving their goal of helping people. So 3 people in their lives have committed to a new healthy lifestyle. And then number 3, that they're getting a first win, that they're seeing the benefits, right? They're seeing the benefits of having their friends come along. They're seeing the benefits of the business side of things, and they're getting excited. 3 vitals every single day. You guys, I cannot stress 3 vitals every single day. And the vital behaviors are something that make you better. How crazy is it that we're in a company that literally wants us to concentrate on ourselves first before we help other people? I mean, that is blowing my mind. Oh my gosh, I said 2016 again. 2017 success starts now. So these are your goals. These are my action items for you guys after this call. Make a goal to hit the highest Success Club number you've ever hit. What's the worst that can happen? You don't hit it, but you get further than you would have gotten before if you were just aiming for 5 or 10 and you help a couple more people. Success Club equals people helped. It's just a metric to track the people helped. Number 2, get 100 no's. I cannot tell you how valuable no's are. People saying no does not mean no. It doesn't mean you're weird. It doesn't mean you're scary. It doesn't mean you're salesy. It means it's not the right time in their life right now, and they need to watch you show up for a certain amount of time for them to be able to show up. Number 3, add coaches. I get so excited. I get so excited adding people to my team. I love people starting a new journey, the potential that this business can offer to people. I geek out because the business has changed my life in so many ways. Yes, I was struggling like with my body and with eating right and all of that kind of stuff, and that has truly helped me. And if we did not have these products, I don't know how successful I'd be. However, for me in my life, the opportunity to be something better and create something great and truly make a life for my family that I never could have had anywhere else, that has been 100% the benefit for me. And if I'm not offering that to people, I don't know how authentic I'm being. And if I'm afraid to offer that to people, I don't know how many people I'm helping because I'm keeping that from them. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. But like I said, I will send those slides over because I know they were super small on the screen.
Thank you so much. So much meaty stuff in there. Let me see, there might have been a couple questions that were coming up in the chat. So let me just scroll back and make sure. Yes, someone asked about the slides. Donnie is sending those, and Jen asked, did you share that chart at the New Leader Conference? She said it looked familiar to her, that chart did.
It's on my YouTube channel. So
what is the chart? Which chart do you mean, Jen? Was it the one that the circle?
Oh, the Success Club wheel. Yeah, probably. I share it everywhere.
Okay. Gosh, so much good stuff, guys. Any questions for Bonnie? You really, really fleshed out everything about Success Club that I could possibly. I mean, like, I just loved every bit of that. No questions? I know you guys have to have questions for, like, you have one of the top coaches in the network here. She'd love to answer. And I love that she says, hitting, she's made it her goal to hit Success Club by the 15th. That's a personal goal of mine as well. Think of the chaos that you would just be eliminating from your life if that was your goal, and how you'd be able to focus on growing your team and nurturing your own team. And then, like she said, everything else is gravy. Amazing. Okay, so Melissa asks, when you are focusing on growing coaches, do you invite just for coaching specifically, or are you always inviting to your challenge group and then asking if they are interested in coaching?
That's a really good question, Melissa. It's case by case. So if I'm talking to someone and they're asking me for help with health and fitness, then I'll offer a challenge group. But if it's somebody who's coming to me for the opportunity, then I'll invite to coaching. So I really try, and I don't offer something that I don't think somebody will be interested in. But that being said, I don't think that anybody could not be successful at coaching. So I do offer it essentially to everyone at one point or another. It just depends on what part of the journey they're on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Question. Lauren asks, how do you introduce it to your coaches? Lauren, are you referring to her chart?
Maybe Success Club?
Perhaps. Lauren, do you mean how is she introducing Success Club to your? That's a good question. I'll wait till she clarifies. But when you have a new coach, how are you communicating the value of Success Club?
So the first thing I talk about with all my new coaches is Success Club. On our new coach call and our new coach training, everything's focused on that. Because like I said when I was talking, I know a couple things from them hitting Success Club. I know they're doing the actions. I know that they're getting even for their challenge pack. I talk to them, Lauren, I say, do you have 3 or 4 people in your life who you know would benefit from a healthy change? And then I help them talk to them and answer questions and all that kind of stuff.
Great. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, I'm looking forward to the notes. I was feverishly writing, but I couldn't catch everything. But I love that. I really love the poll that you did. I think that's really telling. Polling those top coaches, they took initiative. They took responsibility for their own success, and it shows.
I love this little chat. I can just answer over here.
Yeah, you can type too. I girls, that's okay. I don't want to keep you guys any longer than necessary, but if there's no more questions, I'll go ahead and sign off. But thank you so much, Bonnie, and congrats on top 10.
That's you.
Really exciting. So where's the trip going to be?
It is in Italy.
Italy, that's right. So for those of you who aren't familiar with, the top 10 in the elite rankings, the top, they make a huge deal out of the top 10, and they obviously get recognized in so many wonderful ways. But one of those ways is the pretty phenomenal trip. So this year is to Italy. Ariel says, when you get crickets over and over again, do you continue to invite? A lot of times I have people who will answer my conversation related to no fitness posts, but then ignore me when I mention joining a challenge group. What do you do? Keep inviting?
Yep. I don't ever have anybody who drops off my list ever. I mean, like I said, this business in general is something that has to come at the right time of somebody's life. And I don't take it personal. It doesn't mean anything against you or your messages or what you're offering. As long as you can say to yourself and feel good about the fact that, oh my gosh, it's 45, isn't it? I have to be on Amy Silverman's call in like 1 minute. But, as long as you feel confident about what you're offering, then there really can be no bad outcome.
Agreed. All right, we'll let you go since you have another engagement. But thank you again, Bonnie. I'll let Bonnie sign off, and I'll continue to talk to you guys. But I don't want her to be late for her call. But thanks again. We'll look forward to those slides, and good job. Good luck on your next call.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Bonnie. So, guys, I hope you guys got a lot of value from that. Definitely. I mean, she really hit the nail on the head. And one of my favorite things that she said too is. Maybe I'll butcher the way she said it, but she said this business isn't really that complicated, but we complicate it. Helping people, it doesn't look just one way. Actually, that might be what she might have said that on the National Wake Up Call, and I'm mixing that. But I remember hearing her say that there's not just one way to do this, and so we complicate it too much. We want to know all these like strategies and systems and techniques, but it's essentially helping people. Rochelle's asking the question, but she's gone. She did share. She did talk a little bit about how she introduced her coaches to Success Club. But I'll get those slides to you. One real quick. I do tell you guys that I like to do a little live incentive for you being on the call live. So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to post a little something in Team Phoenix for you to answer your question under. And I'll do a drawing from whoever was live. And even if someone does answer that wasn't live, I do have analytics that tell me who was on live. But for fun, the question is going to be today, let's just say, what workout did you do today? And if it was a rest day, you can say rest day. So you'll just look for a post, it'll just say team call, raffle, answer below. So you're going to share what workout you did today. That's your product of the product. Jen said, I did a great job of showing her how uncomplicated this business is with my live power hours. Good to know. Which reminder, team, next Tuesday night at 8:30, there will be a live power hour. So for those of you who aren't sure really how this works, how this happens, even though you've gone through training, but you want to see it happening live, being able to watch it practically, how it's done, that's what the live power hours are for. They're an opportunity for you to kind of see it in action and be able to kind of get, this is legit how coaches work and how we connect with people, how we add to our network, how we build relationships, how we You know, how we invite, how we answer questions, objections, follow-ups. So we share the screen, we put it all out there. So, you know, to come next week at 8:30 live and see what it looks like. We make it something so much more complicated and, you know, scary and intimidating than it really is. But when you see that it's, you know, how simple it is, you really can make a significant impact because you've kind of taken away all these like silly pretenses that you put around inviting or sales. So, okay, I am going to, yep, no questions, making sure I didn't miss something. I'm gonna say good night. Oh, she's talking, Ashley, I'm not sure if you're talking to me or Bonnie. How many invites? I'm sure she does a lot more than me. Is there an outline for power hours by any chance? Megan says, yes. There's one in the team page. The graphic in the banner graphic in the team page is a pretty basic guideline for a power hour. We actually have tracking documents. There's probably some in the files section, but I have many different options I can share. Did I post it? I'm not sure if I actually hit post. Boom, there it is. All right, signing off. Have a good night. And yeah, that's it. Bye, guys.